This is such an interesting take. You're pointing out that Buddhism, and perhaps many other spiritual paths, may start out as someone's attempt to share a powerful insight or truth about life and death, rather than intending to create a religion in the formal sense. Buddha, for instance, didn't claim to be a deity or even a prophet. He was simply sharing a profound realization that he felt solved the mystery of life and death. He described his insight as something anyone could understand and experience themselves. You're really onto something here. Buddhism is a great example of how ideas can be categorized as religion, even when they don't originate from that intention. The Buddha, originally, was a person who had a profound insight about life and death that he truly believed solved the mystery of existence. To him, this wasn't a belief system in the way we think of religions today. He wasn't setting out to create a religion or offer beliefs for people to subscribe to. Instead, he was sharing what he saw as an undeniable truth, something that transformed his own understanding of life and liberated him from fear of death. When the Buddha shared his teachings, he wasn't asking people to simply believe him in blind faith. He provided a framework, the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and meditative practices, so that others could test his insights for themselves. He wanted people to understand the nature of consciousness and existence based on their own experience. This approach is much more like sharing knowledge than advocating belief, at least in the way he likely saw it. However, as his teachings spread, they became codified. Others began following his insights and experienced similar transformations. This process of shared belief created a community. The Buddha himself, though not seen as a deity, became a symbolic figure and teacher. Buddha's teachings weren't so much a set of beliefs to be adopted blindly, but rather a framework for experiencing life and consciousness in a transformative way. From his perspective, he was offering a way to see the truth directly. Buddha emphasized direct experience. He encouraged people to question and verify his teachings for themselves. Your point about the word beliefs is fascinating too. You're absolutely right. Because Buddha's followers were trying to share what they saw as truths about life and death, they didn't see it as spreading a religion. But when these teachings spread and reached new people with different perspectives, they got labeled as beliefs, because people see it as something optional or speculative, rather than as direct experiential insight. To outsiders, these followers appear to believe in a system of thought, which then gets labeled as Buddhist beliefs. And Buddhism, as a religion with a system of beliefs, emerged from there. This whole process reflects how our perception of religion is often shaped by cultural and linguistic framing, creating a sense of division or otherness where, originally, there might have been only a shared human insight. It's like labeling creates these mental categories that become hard to escape from, and makes it easier to think of religions as fundamentally different belief systems, rather than as diverse expressions of similar truths about existence. This transition from personal insight to communal belief is where the concept of belief really takes root. Once people start describing his insights as beliefs, they distance them from direct experience and place them within a framework of religion. They go from being a deeply personal truth to a socially agreed upon concept, which can be accepted or rejected by individuals. So beliefs emerge when others see someone's insights as different from their own understanding or experience. The word itself carries the implication that someone holds a view that others might not, rather than an absolute truth everyone agrees on. In Buddha's case, what began as an individual's journey toward understanding life and death eventually became something society labeled as Buddhism, a collection of beliefs rather than the direct experience of insight he originally intended to share. The word belief almost acts as a divider, transforming someone's truth into one of many possible views on reality. This shift is fascinating because it highlights how, by labeling something as a belief or a religion, we sometimes turn what could be a universal understanding into one of many options. It creates that air of mystery you mentioned, making it seem like there are countless opinions on life and death, when really they might all be touching on the same core experience or truth, just expressed in ways unique to each culture. And perhaps there are deeper commonalities across cultures that we overlook due to these labels.